And it's been just amazing blessing to see so many people being involved, getting me released for the last 2 years. Not to mention, not only mentioning for thousands of people who've been praying for me as well.
Very emotional, understandably. Kenneth Bae back in the United States after being held captive by the North Koreans. He was one of 2 Americans, along with Matthew Miller, who was also released by Pyongyang over the weekend. The men were escorted home by James Clapper, the director of national intelligence, who played a pivotal role in securing their freedom. Look at that nice moment. Big hug on the tarmac and a great emotional time for that family. So how did this come about? Why now? Why did North Korea let them go? Jen Psaki is the State Department spokeswoman, and we're very glad to have her with us this morning.
Martha.
Good morning, Jen.
Great to
Hi
be
there.
here.
Good to have you with us. Obviously, a great moment for these families.
Absolutely.
What was the linchpin here? Why now? Why did this happen?
Well, Martha, I don't think any of us are in a position to portray why North Korea made this decision now, but it's important for people to know that we have been working using every diplomatic lever at our disposal for the past 2 years since Kenneth Bae was detained, and for the past several months since Matthew Miller was detained. We've been working with China. We've been working through every channel we have, so we're just thrilled that they're back home with their families during the holiday season.
All right, so talk to me a little bit about what may have been some of these levers, because obviously we have some very tough sanctions against North Korea. A lot of people are wondering if some of those may have been lifted, and in the past we've seen North Korea do things to gain favor when they need aid, when they need food aid. Is any of that in the works?
Absolutely not. There's no quid pro quo here. There's no question that there was a great deal of international pressure for North Korea to release these 2 American citizens, but we're not going to allow North Korea or the regime to change the subject. We have very serious concerns about their human rights record. We have very serious concerns about their nuclear ambitions, and we absolutely did not put anything on the table along those lines.
But, they must want something, right? I mean, there's some discussion that they want to be viewed more favorably by China, and this is a move to help strengthen their relationship with China as well. Just in terms of the dynamic out there, what do you believe? What do you think they're up to?
Well, there's certainly no question they want that, but their human rights record is abysmal and one of the worst in the international community. China knows that, the United States knows that, the international community knows that. These 2 individuals were detained. We've been asking for them to be released on humanitarian grounds for some time now. What they got was a high-level visit of a U.S. official, and what we got was 2 American citizens who have been detained for far too long in North Korea, and we'll take that.
In terms of the big picture and countries that we're working on building closer relationships with or trying to negotiate them to back off or eliminate their nuclear weapons aspirations as North Korea and Iran, why the focus on those countries at this moment rather than perhaps rebuilding some damaged relationships that are out there with Turkey, for instance, or with Israel, countries that might be extremely helpful to us in ISIS or in these other venues? Why not go to them first to rebuild those and strengthen those relationships?
Well, Martha, we can walk and chew multiple pieces of gum at the same time. The secretary, as you may know, is on his way to China right now. The president is there right now. We have an incredibly strong relationship with Israel. Do we have ups and downs in our relationship? Absolutely we do. But we don't look at this as the opening of a relationship with North Korea. This was about bringing 2 American citizens home. And as it relates to Iran, which we feel is a completely separate issue, our goal is preventing Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. That will make the United States safer. That will make Israel safer. That will make the international community safer. So you're right. We're working on many different fronts at the same time, and that's what we have to do as diplomats.
What would you say are the countries that are the priority in terms of repairing relationships, during the president's last 2 years? What's his priority in that regard?
Well, look, I think we can look at, there are a range of priorities. One, we're going to continue to build on the Asia rebalance. That's been a priority since the beginning of the administration. The president is in China now. He's going to Burma. He's going to Australia. But we're also working on addressing the threat of ISIL. That's not about relationships. In part it is, but it's also about keeping the American people safe. So we're working on that as well. We are working with our European countries and our European partners on TTIP, a trade agreement that can bring jobs to the United States. So there are a lot of fronts that we're working on at the same time. It's about keeping the country safe. It's about growing our economy, and it's about keeping America engaged in the world. We've never been more engaged than we are today, Martha.
All right, let's talk. You brought up ISIS. Let's talk a little bit about that, because there were reports yesterday that Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi had been wounded. What can you tell us about that strike, about that effort to take him out?
Well, our Department of Defense and intelligence officials are looking into those reports. Certainly, I don't have anything to confirm for you at this point in time. As you know, we've been working every single day to take on the threat of ISIL and the threat it poses to the United States, and this certainly falls into that, but we don't have anything to confirm at this point in time.
All right. Jen Psaki, thank you very much.
Thank you, Martha.
Good to have you with us today, Jen. We'll see you soon.
Great to be here.